Welcome to episode 40 of the Last Row podcast. 40.
40.
That's an accomplishment,
This
my
is
friend.
40.
We are back, thelastrowpodcast.com if you're looking for us on the web, at The Last Row Pod on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I think we made a Snapchat. You could probably find us out there. Any other ways, just look for us. We're here. I'm happy to be back, Badway.
Drew, so what's new?
There's another person living in my house now.
You got a roommate?
There's a new roommate.
Yeah.
She doesn't pay rent. She's a freeloader.
Yeah.
Happy to have her in the house. Obviously, we missed last week. Birth of my child, as
Yep.
Badway affectionately calls her Batgirl,
Batgirl.
on Twitter.
Yep.
I want to say thank you to everybody that actually wrote in and obviously congratulated and said the kind words that you guys did. Much appreciated. And, like I always say it, we have the best listeners. And thank you sincerely to everybody that wrote in and said thank you for this.
So when this baby eventually does get stolen by Vigo, and the soul of Vigo is transferred into her body, are you still going to love her the same?
See, can I tell you that was one of the funniest tweets that I've seen? Obviously we're big Ghostbusters fans on this show, and 2 I know is affectionately terrible, but it's a good movie. When you made that tweet and I saw people writing back at it, I laughed very hard. I'm not going to lie to you. That was one of the nicest surprise tweets I've seen in a long time.
Well, I know the way to your heart. But anyway, we'll get back on track here. Today we're going we're going to talk about the Ghostbusters release and upcoming, getting some positive feedback after the negativity that surrounded the hype train. We're going to get into a little bit of that. Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Cut has been released. We're going to talk about some of the tunes changing on that regard as far as the critics go.
Hack Snyder.
Yeah. And then we're going to get into what we're watching, maybe some movies we came across in the past 2 weeks since we've been off. And we're going to close it with another round of plot fiction where I, Badway, am the author this time around.
See, I feel like you're kicking my ass in this game. Like it's not even close. We have to go back and do a tally.
We'll have to do a tally. I don't see it that way.
I feel like you're really beating me into submission here.
No, I don't see it that way. I don't know. We'll see. See how this round goes.
So jumping into the Ghostbusters release, I can't name the site that we swore off. I've seen some mixed things.
See, the fact that you're saying that is like kind of cheating. I don't like that.
I can't name the site. I won't tell you that I didn't look it up. I'm sorry that I cheated on you.
You're looking at a score, right?
I looked it up.
You even mentioning it is like just disregards everything. So screw it.
There's a percentage.
Some people like the movie, all right? Yeah.
There's a percentage associated with it, and there is a score. But yeah, I did. I cheated on you, and I looked it up. I went against the wishes and the curses that we made like
doesn't mean shit
15 episodes ago. I looked it up. It seems like it's got a mixed reception, as one would expect, not the completely lopsided hate fest that has existed out on the internet over the past few months, maybe even longer.
Yeah.
Are you excited to see Paul Feig's Ghostbusters, Badway?
I'm not excited to see it.
Are you jumping out of your chair right now?
No, not at all. I'm curious. I'm very curious as a lover of the franchise and the first 2 films and the cartoon and all the toys. Firehouse without the slime. Bears took it from me.
But on a scale, give me let me, what's your, okay, so on a scale of space movie to Quentin Tarantino, how excited are you to see this?
Let's go. I'm about a 5, which would probably round out to about a superhero movie.
Okay, so it's your Zack Snyder?
Yeah. Actually, that's probably a little generous superhero movie, but I'll give it a 5, maybe leading towards a 4.
Where does a Western rank on your list?
2.
Did you see that show that's coming out on HBO? It's like a sci-fi Western. Is that up your alley?
That's like the worst. That's like in the negatives, right?
Back to Ghostbusters. So you're not that excited. You're like a 5.
Well, in terms of me loving the franchise, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I know some people are totally against giving it a shot because maybe if we don't go see it, they'll stop making them. But I got a newsflash for you. I don't care if they make it or not. I don't care if they capitalize on the franchise name and make billions of dollars. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't care. You can have my $5. I don't care.
So
I'll waste it anyway.
So you're saying just do the movie justice and you're happy?
I'll go to like a burger place and waste $5 anyway. I'll just not go to McDonald's the one time and I'll go see Ghostbusters, and then that'll be my money.
Well, let me ask you about this, and this is where I have my opinion. I know we've talked about this off the air a lot of times. The trailer came out, the original trailer. We've talked about this before on the show.
Yeah.
It didn't get the warmest reception. In fact, it was the worst rated or most hated video on YouTube history.
There's a lot of hate on YouTube.
Right. But it's like, when you go in the comments section, you troll the comments section of a YouTube video. You feel like you need a shower after you read some of that.
Yeah.
It's some,
Oh, yeah.
the most racist and just worst comments section ever.
Yeah.
They try to combat it by having people use the real name. I don't think anybody cared
Nobody
anyway.
cares. You're still anonymous.
But do you think did the trailer make you excited? I guess you weren't, right?
No.
Did you think it was a bad trailer?
It did at all. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it made me not. Maybe want to see it less, I guess, is a good way to put it. It seemed like they were leaning heavy on the slapstick, and they were going hard on the Leslie Jones in the trailer, which was probably the worst way to get me into the theater is to put somebody like Leslie Jones or Melissa McCarthy in a movie. I'm just not a fan of them. But the movie seemed to be going heavy on that, heavy on the slapstick. I didn't mind the CG. I didn't mind like the costumes.
Scooby-Doo CG.
Yeah, I don't care about that. That's fine. Whatever. What I did notice was, did Batman versus Superman get a similar level of hate pre-release, trailer release wise?
Not really. It was.
You don't think?
It was mixed? It wasn't worst of all time. Now I'm going back because I remember the last trailer. People were upset that it gave away too much of the movie.
Yeah,
but they didn't say the trailer was bad and the movie looks like crap.
It's pretty grimdark. Remember the grimdark terms being thrown around.
Listen, those people have been around since the beginning of Batman.
Would you equate the grimdark people to the woman haters that hated for hating Ghostbusters for it being for women? Were the same like irrational response to people hating Batman vs Superman because of the color palette?
Yeah, I mean it's irrational because it's like
irrational. No, that's a stupid reason to hate a movie.
But let me tell you, let me break this down for a second.
Yeah.
The hate on this movie comes from multiple angles.
Yeah.
There's a small piece of people that are literal misogynists that don't like women. That is 100% fact.
A woman can't bust my ghosts.
Yes, and that is wrong, right? That's wrong, and it's stupid.
Right.
That's very dumb. Right?
Goes without saying. Go on.
So not to get into that part because that doesn't matter. There are also people in the camp of this is very near and dear to my heart, just like Star Wars is to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Don't mess with this. It's been too long. Why are you doing this? That's the other camp, right?
Right.
Yes, there are woman-hating jerks out there, people that just don't like that piece of it, and that's stupid. So we're throwing that aside.
Yep.
Coming back to it, there are a group of people that just don't want their classics messed with. Do you think that's a fair argument?
No.
Why not?
Because I can separate the two, right? We've talked about this, I think, with Turtles in the past, TMNT. Yeah. The new movie doesn't ruin the old one for me, right?
Okay. I can go with you on that.
And if I really am against it, I don't have to see it. And if I'm mildly curious about it, I'll go see it. And like I said 5 minutes ago, I don't care if they make $1 billion. And I don't care if 5 of those $1 billion that they made were out of my wallet. Doesn't bother me one way or the other. It's just, it boils down to, you should be able to separate your childhood and the greatness of the first one and the nostalgia factor of the second one and the cartoons. You should be able to separate that from this new iteration. You can see it. If you like a franchise, you see it, you disagree with it, you don't like it, that's fine. You can go back and watch the 1984 where they're even releasing that back in theaters for a limited time only.
Well, but do you think, so let me ask you this way. Do you think that there's a subsection of moviegoers that are just tired of reboots in general? And this is kind of like, it just happened to be in the line of fire.
Yeah, there could be fatigue. That's true.
It's like the superhero fatigue that we've talked about on the show in the past. I don't have it. You do.
Yeah.
Other people might have this fatigue of, I'm tired of these superhero movies. When are they going to make something original?
Yeah.
It's another one. It just kind of happens to be in the way. Like, oh yeah, they're remaking this too.
And it's gone too far. Like, oh, we can't remake the Ghostbusters. It's gone too far. And I know we did our gate system a while back. That was a fun episode that we did on demand. But like I was saying, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't care if Sony makes $1 billion or not. Like, what do you care? They're rich. It doesn't matter. They're rich anyway.
I see where you're going, and I'm not saying you're wrong. Because I'm in the camp of they want to make this movie whatever. But at the same time, I also believe in freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And I don't like Paul Feig's reaction to the hate on the trailer. And I don't like Melissa McCarthy's reaction to the hate on the trailer. I don't like the way that they are the snark and the you must be a geek in your basement living with your mom. Like I guess that's a comedic thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Did you go First Amendment on me?
I did.
What are your thoughts on the Second Amendment?
No, see, like, you know, right to bear arms. That's
You're gonna plead the Fifth?
I plead the fifth on that. I plead the fifth. No, but I'm just saying, you know, I guess that's the way that a comedian would attack criticism.
Yeah.
They attack it with snark and critics.
Yeah. Hey, listen. If this movie's been getting attacked since the first screenshot came out, so of course you got to defend yourself, right? If you're the filmmakers, if you're the actors and actresses, and if you're Paul Feig and if you're Sony, you got to defend yourself. Would you say that you don't think they're defending themselves fairly?
No,
is that what you're saying?
No, I guess what I'm saying is like to call people geeks in their basement living with their mom.
Yeah.
Like that's a stupid thing. Like I said this to you before. It's poking the bee's nest.
Yeah.
You have to know if you're Paul Feig. Like if you're Paul Feig and you're this director who's done some pretty good work, he's a good guy. He's done really good movies over the past few years and probably the past 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Bridesmaids was a great movie. I loved it. I thought it was so funny, and I think he's a great director. But you have to know if you're Paul Feig and you're saying, yes, Sony, I would love the chance to remake Ghostbusters, one of the most beloved franchises in movie history.
Yeah.
That there's going to be some people that are going to be upset.
Sure.
And you better just take it.
Yeah.
To go and antagonize the trolls, you're poking the bee's nest, and I don't like it.
I think a lot of the hate has gone too far. Like as far as pre-movie comes out.
Listen.
If people go and see the movie and it's like absolute terrible, then he has no leg to stand on.
Right. And what I'll tell you is there's hate that I feel is warranted, and then there's hate that's not warranted. To crap all over the way a proton pack looks because it doesn't look scientifically accurate.
Oh, like the one's not a Cadillac.
That's what I mean. That's stupid. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't think that's, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you hold Ghostbusters so near and dear to you that you feel a little miffed that they're making it at all, yeah, you have a right to say that. To go and attack someone for being a woman? No, you don't have a right to. You shouldn't be able to. I guess you can say it because, again, we're talking about amendments.
Right.
But it's not right to say that. To say, oh, this movie sucks because it's for women. That's a stupid thing to say. But what I don't think is stupid is the fact that people are like, you know what? Stop crapping on historic franchises and just trying to make tons of money off of it. We did Independence Day 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's done terribly in the box office. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I enjoyed it on some level, but I feel like people are just hitting that wall, man. They're tired of this stuff.
And that goes to show you that you can't take a movie that was a cult hit anyway. It wasn't by any stretch like a masterpiece. It was a cult hit, and then you go and you have a sequel 20 years later and expect people to just fall in love with it, right? It just doesn't work.
And I'll tell you another piece of warranted criticism. This piece of crap theme song. Now, tell me that you hate the song. Tell me one good thing about it.
I'm not a huge Fall Out Boy fan to begin with.
Tell me a good thing about it.
But I don't despise them.
Is there anything redeeming about that song?
So in the middle of the song, at the very heartbeat of the song, there's there's a very subtle beat, and that's good.
You like that?
But that's like 5% of the song. And then everything else that they make loud around it is just horrible.
See, I know you said this to me earlier, and one of the best true indicators of this, one of our best friends is a very big Fall Out Boy fan.
Yeah.
And even he said this song is bad.
Yeah, that's how you know, right? But let me put it to you this way, to circle back around. So if I would have heard the news that there's a new Ghostbusters theme song coming out, and it was being made by Fall Out Boy, and I immediately judged that song as being crap before I heard a note, is that fair?
Maybe if you don't like Fall Out Boy.
And I just heard the general outline of the theme song during the trailer. Is that fair to judge that song?
If they're doing a remake of the original theme song, maybe it is.
I don't think it's fair, but when the thing is released and you can hear how terrible it is, and then you can say it's terrible, then it's fair.
Listen, I'm not saying... I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to go watch Ghostbusters, and I'm going to like it. I know I will.
Are you going to take your daughter?
She's a little too young, I think.
Female role model?
Maybe if she was maybe 3 weeks old, we could go.
Yeah.
As 1 week old, I don't know.
PG 13 weeks.
That's what I mean. 13 weeks.
Yeah.
No, but listen, I'm saying this all just for the conversation, right? Because I will watch this and I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it. I probably won't like Leslie Jones and I probably won't like Melissa McCarthy. The jury's out on that, but I know I'll like Kristen Wiig and I know I'll like Kate McKinnon.
Yeah.
And I heard everything I've read and everything I've heard is that Chris Hemsworth steals the show and he's hilarious. So I'll probably like that too. And the other topic that I wanted to bring up was one of the reviews was a YouTube review by John Campea, movie reviewer and podcaster.
Yeah.
One of his major complaints was that he felt that the cameos were so forced and like shoehorned in. How do you feel about that?
Well,
Like,
I'd have to see it for myself to know, but I could see that being very annoying if they do it in a very strong way. Like, for example, again, Independence Day, Resurgence, they did a really good job of throwing back to the first one in a subtle way. There were multiple aspects of that movie where if you know the first movie well, like we do, you could really appreciate some of the lines and some of the visuals that they show in that movie. If this is the opposite of that, if this is where they're shoving people in your face, if they're shoving Vigo in your face, that don't like have anything to do with the story or get in the way of the story, then that could be a problem.
so what's a good? Let me ask you this: what is a good cameo for this? How would you like to see a cameo in this if you were writing the script?
They are busting ghosts in a museum, and one of the paintings, like as they pass through the hallway, happens to be a Vigo.
Okay, well, what about people? Like if they're gonna, because we all know that, like apparently it's rumored Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and I don't know if Ernie Hudson's gonna be in this, but it's clear that Dan Aykroyd, he's an executive producer, he's gonna be in this. How would you like to see Ray?
Perfect example. So they need some information on a ghost, a class of ghosts that they've never seen before. So they go to the corner bookstore titled Ray's Occult.
See, that would be great.
And then they go and see this old man behind the counter who's a nutball who knows everything about spooks and specters. That's a good cameo. It doesn't get in the way, and it actually advances the story.
Well, that brings me to another point, right? So we talk about remake versus reboot.
Yeah.
This is clearly a reboot because they've said that it is, right? It doesn't really have ties, at least that I'm aware of, to the original outside of...
No, they've outright said that it's like stands on its own.
So would you rather it be a sequel then, based on what you're saying?
And if they're doing all these throwbacks, but they're still rebooting it in a way, like I feel like they should have just made it like a sequel or like a 20 years later type thing. I feel like, first of all, the movie itself might have been received a little better than a flat out, like we're going to scrap the first two and we're going to remake it. Right?
So is that like remaking The Godfather? Like let me say this. Ghostbusters might be the Godfather of comedies.
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
It's hard to find a movie. Like you can't even say, oh, it's like, let's remake Star Wars Episode 3.
Yeah.
Like, let's just remake the whole series. Like, scrap everything. Let's remake it from the beginning.
Right.
Do you think people would be out of their minds? Or would they say, this is
they
cool?
would absolutely be out of their minds, but Star Wars is a whole different animal. I would liken this closer to, maybe this isn't unfair, but what about like the Karate Kid? When
people hated it.
People love the Karate Kid. Like they hold it near and dear, especially that's like a childhood movie of people for the 80s.
Yes.
People were born in that time frame. When they had the new one come out with what's his face?
Jaden Smith.
With Jaden Smith, like people went nuts. Like this, I feel like that is very similar to this.
It is, but I still feel like Ghostbusters is on a higher level.
It is.
It's the closest to
but
it,
because
though.
Ghostbusters is a much better movie than
Right.
than Karate Kid, the original, right?
I agree, but I guess you're right. Like, but people
But
went out
it's
of
the
their
same
mind.
type of playing with your childhood type thing, a franchise movie where people were outraged before it even came out.
But do you think that the hate? So you don't think the hate was warranted on that either?
Well, when it came out, I saw like half of it.
But before
on
it came
FX.
out, let's say you saw the trailer with Jackie Chan as Mr. Miyagi,
Yeah.
and Jaden Smith as whoever he is.
Well,
you saw the trailer and you were like, "I'm going to wait until this comes out to give it a fair shake."
I had no interest in seeing it. I wouldn't say I didn't flat out bash the movie. I just wasn't a fan of. Like wasn't going to see it. But I didn't love that franchise as much as I loved Ghostbusters.
All right.
So
Okay. I'm a little PTI here today.
yeah.
A little.
No, I appreciate it. No, I
just wanna keep you
I
honest
can see
over
some
there.
holes in the argument. I understand that, but there's varying levels of fandom in certain
Listen,
movies.
all listeners, I got to keep him honest over here because he keeps me on my toes. So
So even small things like you can have like in the very like minute of the movie have a throwback to the original franchise,
right.
and have it like stem off like say Melissa McCarthy's uncle is Ray, right?
Okay.
And like I got to go see my Uncle Ray, and you don't know who you go see Uncle Ray, and it's Ray's Occult, like something like that. You don't have to have like the past franchise shoved down your throat to make it a sequel. You just have it in the same world.
Well,
right?
another one they could have done was they could have literally made Ghostbuster franchises and say, oh, hey, this is them in L.A.
There's Chicago one, there's an
Yeah.
LA one.
The other
whatever.
guys were like they franchised it out like a McDonald's.
Yeah,
something like that.
I don't want to tell people to make their movie, but I feel like the public backlash would have been lessened had they done that versus just we're scrapping it. The old ones don't count. This is the new Ghostbusters.
One last thing about Ghostbusters before we move on. The piece that you mentioned to me was there was supposed to be another spinoff,
Yes.
right? Oh, I don't even know what they were calling it, but it was supposed to have Channing Tatum in it, a couple
Yeah.
other people.
The Russo brothers are going to direct.
You said they canceled
I guess they canceled it. Or what they could have done was maybe they saw the negative reaction to this one, the pre-hype, so that maybe they backed off a little bit. It could still be in the works. Maybe they just put the brakes on it a little bit. But this was supposed to be a thing where, like, once the rights were released, I thought they were going to like start making shit left and right. Ghostbusters,
like
this,
like
Ghostbusters
superheroes
that.
ones,
Yeah,
right?
right, exactly.
So do you think they're going to now?
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, a couple months after this, like, leaves theaters or something, that we start to see whispers of that movie coming up again.
What type of success does this need for that to happen? Like, let's say,
I think this could bomb and they could try to quote unquote rescue it.
yeah.
I could see that happening.
Well, what do you mean by rescue? Like make another one?
Make
right,
another
right
one.
away?
We'll make it better, right?
Right. Like,
I can
let's
see that.
Take what people hated and make it better.
I think if this does really well and it actually is a great movie, that they'll move on with the sequel of this, and we might see a second one, and they might try to like maybe they will try to push the guy thing
Yeah.
and see if that like they can compete, even though it's kind of like
I still
fighting that battle is kind of weird.
I still come back to it, man, and I know we said we throw the whole gender thing aside. Like, I don't think that the major problem people have with it is that it's an all-female cast. Like, even if they had a mixed gender cast, which I think they probably should have done, because they could have had different style of comedians in there too.
Right.
Like, not just the typical SNL type folks. Like, I know, and that's the original one, right? The original one was
Right.
all SNL people.
Like what if Bill Hader was one of the characters?
I would have loved it,
Right.
because it just brings a different dynamic. Like,
Yeah.
you could have had Bill Hader in there; he'd have been hilarious, and it wouldn't have had that stigma. But I don't think that the reason why people are hating it is because it's an all-female cast. That's not the problem people have. There is a small minority, like we said.
There is, and they're a loud minority. That's a problem.
But that's anything, right? I mean, and they're idiots.
And
They're the
I feel
idiots.
like that reaction was like the initial response when they found out that it was all female. But I think that the hate kind of shifted to look at this shitty trailer.
Yeah,
And then it was a pile on after the trailer came out.
yeah, and
I still don't think that's fair to judge a movie by its
to go back
trailer.
to go back full circle though, like a bad trailer is a bad trailer, right? And
Yeah.
let's be real. If it's not a good trailer, people can downvote it or whatever they do. This is the internet. That's what it is.
right.
There's good trailers and there's bad trailers, and you could argue trailers themselves are stupid.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go
but
ahead. Go
That's
ahead.
that's the problem with trailers. Like, you could screw yourself by showing too much in a trailer.
Well, the Terminator thing,
Yeah.
right? We said it.
The more mysterious you are in your trailer, the less you show. It's like the more intrigue you can build.
Well, that's what they did with Star Wars, and it
Yeah.
went over so well. It's the opposite of Batman versus Superman, where they showed basically the whole plot.
Yeah.
And I've read an article recently about directors who, like, it comes back to Terminator, the new Terminator movie, Genesis, right?
Yeah.
Genesis. The movie itself had a major plot twist that was given away in the trailer that people were saying, like, do not watch this trailer if you want to watch this movie. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
And then we're sitting there watching, I don't even know what the heck it was, probably Avengers.
I think it was Avengers.
And they
Yeah.
showed it right away, and I was
Yeah.
like, I couldn't get up.
Oh, there goes that. Yeah.
But having said that, I saw an article that said that directors want to take more control because it's not them that are making these trailers. Not generally speaking. Maybe Tarantino does his own, but they're saying that directors want to take more control of the trailers now to keep some of these twists under wraps.
Every major studio probably has like a go-to team, right? To like try to maximize, let's get butts in the seats with a
Yes.
certain type of trailer, right? I'm not even talking about spoilers in trailers. I'm talking about you could hide a bad movie with a mysterious trailer.
Yeah.
The less you show, the better off you are.
Well, I mean, look at Catfish.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about
Right.
that the last time we did Plot Fiction.
Yeah.
It's, the Tickled movie.
Yeah,
It's-
same type of thing.
I don't know. I come back to it,
But
and
that's
I,
a bait and switch. That's a different type of
It
thing.
is.
Though.
But I'm coming back to Paul Feig, and I'm going full circle. We should move on. But just coming back to him saying, you know what, you want to be mad at people not liking your movie, not giving it a fair shake, that's fine. But to come out and attack people, you're poking the bee's nest.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, man. You took this movie on knowing full well that you were going to get irrational hate at you. You're better off just ignoring it. You can't troll the trolls.
Right,
And that's the
exactly.
moral of the story,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
So, moving on, I want to talk about something else that got some hate. Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Cut is now out on digital.
This is your favorite topic.
Have you watched it?
Have I watched the 3-hour Love
Epic?
Fest, the Epic? No, I haven't. But
I
I will.
haven't either.
But I will, right? I'm going to devote maybe 5 total hours to superheroes this summer.
And that's
it's going to
3?
be this director's cut and Suicide Squad, and that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
No more for you.
Nothing else.
I don't think there's anything else coming out that I'm aware of.
I don't care. Nothing on FX. Nothing on Netflix. You know, there's a lot of Marvel movies I got to catch up on. There's Daredevil on Netflix. Not watching that.
See, it wouldn't be the Last Row podcast if we didn't mention Batman versus Superman.
Of course.
I mean, are we going to get an Entourage reference in here too? Maybe a Boy Meets World.
Well,
one too?
I wanted to do the Medellin trailer joke, but I didn't. But here I am.
See, here we
I
are.
brought it up.
I mean, this is the Last Row podcast.
Right.
I mean, should we call it Hug It Out, bitch?
Yeah.
That's the other podcast.
Yeah.
But having said this, again, the ultimate cuts out. I don't like this by the studio. Here's a move that I do not like.
What's the move?
Guess what, Bad Way? You want to watch this movie?
Of course.
Pre-order the Blu-ray. When's it coming out? June 22nd or whatever it is, July 20 something.
Yeah.
But guess what? You can buy it right now on digital HD.
Ah. What? Who needs the hardcover anymore? What do you get with the Blu-ray?
I just want to own it. Like, where do you buy it? Where do you buy it if you buy it digitally? $20. Do you want to pay $20 to own something digitally?
It's the same thing. Like, what are you gonna do with the cover art? Like, what are you gonna do with it?
Nothing. There's one thing. Like, I buy music digitally and I stream music digitally.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I still like to own, if I'm gonna buy a movie, I'm buying the Blu-ray.
But
I don't buy movies.
Let me ask you this: when MP3s first became available to be bought in, just digitally, did you say, "I'm not buying that. I'd rather have the CD case"?
I did, but here's the difference.
Yeah.
With an MP3, you own it. You have it on your computer.
Yeah.
Where do you own that movie? You don't own the file.
Yeah, but
you have it on Google Play.
What is the Skynet going to come and steal your movie?
I'm just
what's
saying,
going to happen?
Okay, so you have it on Google Play. You can only watch it on your Chromecast or Roku box. You can't watch it on Apple TV. Then you've got your Apple TV. You buy it on iTunes. You can't watch it on your Chromecast. You can't watch it here.
If you have that kind of problem, but you don't you always have multiple platforms at your fingertips. You got your tablet, you got your phone. You don't use Apple TV.
No, I don't. But I'm saying I don't like being locked into a service for a movie.
Yeah, I know. But some people are Apple heads and they'll buy it on iTunes. And it'll be great.
That's great.
Yeah.
But you want to spend $20? Let me spend 23 and have it digitally
I understand your argument, but you personally yourself do not need this Blu-ray. You could have bought it on Google Play and used it on every single platform you own besides your laptop. You would have been able to watch that movie on.
But listen, what I'm saying is I'd rather have the DVD or the Blu-ray combo.
Yeah.
Because I want a physical piece of my $20.
You wanted the DVD? You wanted the DVD?
It's a combo.
You want a coaster? What'd you want?
Listen, this is what I'm saying. And it's different with music because I'm telling you, you get your music, you buy it DRM free, and you can put it on any device you want. You get that movie. And there's people on here listening going, dude, why don't these guys just download it from uTorrent or whatever?
Exactly.
You know, and I probably should, right? But we don't condone that here.
You only get warnings.
That's what I'm saying, right? You get the 2 strikes and you got no more ISP. Yeah. Having said that, this is like a 20-minute tangent of MP3s versus Blu-rays.
I got to keep you on your toes. Like
I know,
you
right?
say.
See, this is a good episode here.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this. Yeah. Having said that, I haven't watched it because my Blu-ray, me the old man,
I'm still waiting.
I'm waiting for my Blu-ray to come. Plus, the picture's better.
Is it?
It is.
It's
better. Yes, because digital is compressed.
All right.
I'm telling you.
So your eyes suck, though. What do you know?
Compressed.
Your eyes are terrible.
Listen, I'm not. It's not like Tidal versus Spotify here. This is a visual component.
Okay.
This is
all right.
If you're writing in and you get me, please support me on this. If you're listening and you support this argument, please.
I understand your argument, but I think it's stupid.
That you're entitled, right?
Does that make sense?
This is your amendment, right? You're allowed to think it's
my
stupid.
First Amendment.
You know what? It's been a while since we've done this show.
Yeah.
I'm having fun right now.
All right.
This is fun.
That's good.
Anyway, I'm waiting for it to come. Have you read anything about it?
No. I've distanced myself from this movie pretty much. The only news I get from this movie, I get from you, basically, because you're a nut for this, which is funny because I can't believe you haven't seen it yet. I know you're waiting. But that's like nuts
I've been
to me.
busy.
I figure you would have bought the Blu-ray and also spent the $20 to watch it.
It's funny. I have Google Play credit from doing those surveys, and I could just get it for free, basically. But I bought the Blu-ray.
Right. But you've been keeping up on the differences, and I guess it's being well received. Is that right?
No, it is. And there's people. So I watch the Collider Movie Talk sometimes on YouTube. I don't know if anybody else watches that, but John Schnepp, one of the guys that made that The Death of Superman Lives Returns. Remember that guy?
No, but go on.
He's one of the guys, friends with Kevin Smith, I think. Oh. He hated BVS. He hated it with a passion of like 1,000 fiery suns.
As did many.
Right. Yeah. But I remember watching one of the episodes and he was saying that he changed his tune completely. And a lot of people have been saying it's a different movie because they cut out so much of it. They
Right.
just cut out so much. Now, again, I can't speak from experience because I haven't watched it. I'm sure people listening probably have watched it.
It's impossible for you to not like it more because you already liked the
Right.
theatrical version, as did I.
That's what I'm saying. If you
Yeah.
hated the theatrical version,
Yeah.
you still might not like this.
So this is totally going to be a better movie with the added scenes.
Well, yeah, because basically, I don't know if you remember the scene, the Africa scene. You remember
Yeah.
the one where Superman swoops in? It
Very
just-
confusing.
People said it was very confusing.
Yes.
Well, apparently they cut out a lot of stuff that explained what the hell that was.
So the frame job of Superman,
Yes.
and the kind of like it
Apparently-
wasn't really wasn't
Right.
apparent in the theatrical
Exactly.
version.
In the ultimate cut, it's like one of the major deciding, like motivating factors of what's going on.
Is that like why Batman thinks that Superman
Yes.
might not be best for the world?
Right.
Right.
And apparently the Lex Luthor motivations
Or
of
like Lex
pitting
Luthor.
the Lex Luthor motivations of pitting Batman versus Superman together against each other are so much more
Yeah.
obvious and blatant and play a lot in the movie. Apparently a lot of Superman himself was cut out in
Right.
basically a Batman versus Superman movie. They cut out some Batman.
It's true. There was very little Superman in
And
this movie.
I wanna bring this up because we still argue about this to this day. This is a fiery episode today.
Yeah.
I still think it's unfair of the studio to go to Zack Snyder, if this is true, a month
Big
or
if.
two before the movie releases and say cut out a half hour. We're afraid that we can't make enough money.
No, there's no way that they let Zack Snyder make a 3-hour movie, theatrical movie. It was never going to be 3 hours.
They don't listen. He's not going to accidentally make a 3-hour movie. You know what I'm saying? Like they
His-
said that it was like a 5-hour cut and he whittled it down to 3.
Yeah.
You don't go into this movie saying, "Oh, I'll make a 2.5-hour movie." Oops, sorry, it's 3. That
think-
was not a secret.
I think that he thought very highly of himself as a negotiator to like try to win that battle, that he was
I
always going to
disagree
lose.
with you.
And I think his idea was too grand. I still like this movie, but there's no way any movie should be a 3-hour movie in
So-
the theater unless you're Martin Scorsese or you're James Cameron or Steven Spielberg or Quentin Tarantino.
So you don't think that you don't think that it was unfair of the studio to try to potentially, which the rumors have been, shoehorn all this crap in here and make it 2.5 hours?
I don't think they screwed him over. I feel like the cards were on the table and he was trying to win a battle. And I don't know. I'm not sure who I believe as far as what was promised and what wasn't.
Put it this way, I don't think he has any reason to lie about it. He seems like a pretty honest guy.
Yeah, maybe.
That's all I'm saying.
Maybe he misunderstood. I've seen Entourage.
But why 2 hours and 30 minutes? Why not 2 hours and 40 minutes? Why not 2 hours and 45 minutes? Where's the cutoff? You know what I'm saying?
A little bit as far as you go. It's a little bit closer.
But
a
I'm
little
just
bit closer.
saying, like,
Yeah.
apparently from what I've read, there was like 5 minutes of scenes that would have just made so much better of a movie.
I know, but if you take that long to tell your story,
I
and
disagree
you're
with
not
you.
one of those like
I disagree with you.
Oscar-worthy directors, you're walking the line of this shit is too long.
There's
Let's wrap
3.
it up.
Listen, there's and you know what's actually what I've read also. People have said this movie feels shorter,
Yeah.
even though it's a half hour longer.
If it views shorter, that's true. But also, people are on the couches versus a movie
But I'm-
theater seat.
I don't know. I disagree with you because I feel like there's a lot of 3-hour movies out there that are not Oscar-winning directors that are just made, and I feel like they could have added another screen. They had a lot of pull. This movie came out when nothing else was out. There was no way that people were not going to go see it, and the negative press lampooned this thing. That's what I'm saying.
There are no 3-hour movies that come out except for the big ones.
I'm going to look this up. I
Like,
got to look
like
this
who
up.
are we talking about? We're talking about Peter Jackson, James Cameron, Quentin Tarantino, and Martin Scorsese. Like who else is making a 3-hour movie?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to look
Not
this
Zack
up.
Snyder.
I'm
He
gonna-
should be allowed to.
I'm going to look this up. Listen,
Neither should Joss Whedon or anybody else making
that's what I'm
superhero
saying.
movies.
Okay, well, Christopher Nolan, 2 hours and 40-some minutes for The Dark Knight Returns or Dark
Christopher
Knight
Nolan
Rises.
nominated for an Oscar.
All right.
For Inception.
Yeah, was Batman nominated for an Oscar? That's what I'm saying. They made a superhero movie that was 3 hours long. That's all I'm
It
telling
wasn't
you.
3 hours,
It was 2 hours and 40-some minutes.
but there was no director's cut 3 hours that he left story out.
I'm telling you.
He's
Listen.
Zack Snyder probably released this director's cut 3 hours long. And it was like, damn, it's too short. I need more time.
Listen, all I'm going to tell you is he didn't accidentally make a 3-hour movie. I'm 100% serious
You're
about
right.
that.
You're right. He made it on purpose, and he thought that he could win the argument with Sony to allow it to be shown in
I'm
theaters. He
telling
was
you.
dead wrong.
Listen, first off, you're wrong. Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers.
Whoever.
Warner Brothers didn't just not know how long. They read the script.
Yeah.
They saw the script. Listen, there was dialogue in that movie. They're not going to have like minutes of silence and things. They know how long the movie is. It's not an accident. A month before, they're going to cut a half hour out.
You know when Warner Brothers had the meeting with Ari and Vinny Chase, and they told Vinny that he could shoot Manny Ian
Yes.
in between Aquaman 1 and Aquaman 2, and they were lying to him. Maybe Zack Snyder had that same meeting
Listen,
with Warner Brothers. They
what-
lied to him.
what I'm going to tell
Maybe
you
they lied
is,
to him.
they had so much riding on this.
Yeah.
They had so much riding on it. They should have just let it
He
be.
shouldn't have been naive.
They should have let it be. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I'm on Zack Snyder's side.
I think the 3-hour movie would have been a detriment to their numbers.
I don't think it would have.
They would have made less money.
Don't you think it could have balanced out? Because yeah, they would have made less money, but it also would have been better. On how many people did you read on the internet that said, "Oh,
Yeah.
this movie sucks. I'm gonna wait till it comes out on Netflix."
I feel like there's a lot of casual viewers out there that would have seen the runtime and
disagree.
said, "No thanks, I'll see it on DVD."
This is basically also a rehash of the text messages threads that we have like weekly, by the way, about this particular topic.
Now, having said all that, I still like the movie.
I do too.
And I'll be fine. I'm fine with watching a 3-hour movie at home.
I'm very pumped to actually watch this.
And if I'm gonna watch a 3-hour movie in the movie theater, it better be directed by Scorsese or Tarantino.
Okay,
that's about it.
You know what? That's your First Amendment right.
Yeah,
You're allowed.
that's
You're allowed to have that.
I'm gonna express my
So,
first point.
all right, let me a couple more topics here
Yeah.
before we move on from this one. Do you think he should have been removed from Justice League or future movies
No way. He's doing a fine job. He's
based
doing a
on
fine
the
job.
performance?
Just cut it down to the story, buddy. Can't tell every story in one movie.
Let's keep it 2 hours.
Yeah, let's keep it.
I gotta say it again one last time. I'm gonna get the final word on this. I still think that they probably gave him too much to put in this movie. They said you better put this in. You gotta have that in. You gotta have this.
Oh no.
They tried to make him set up a universe like Marvel did over like 7 years in a 3-hour movie. And they, by the way, make it 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's unfair.
That's very reasonable. That's a long ass movie. I'm sorry.
But 3-hour movie. People are probably so tired of hearing us talk about this by now.
No, this is a different angle on this argument.
I'm saying
We could go all night with this. It's fine.
3 hours.
Yeah. Let's not make this 3 hours.
Let's not make it a nightmare, fucker. I'm just saying, 3-hour movie is not that much to ask for. It's like you saying, set up basically 10 years worth of movies like Marvel did in 2.5 hours.
That's their fault for trying to chase Marvel.
Yeah, that's the studio's fault, not Zack Snyder's.
Well, Zack Snyder should have you can tell a coherent Batman Superman story in less than 2.5 hours.
I'm just saying.
And he almost didn't tell a coherent. I think he still did, but it was damn close. He almost didn't tell a coherent story.
He was hanging by a thread?
Yes, he was.
What if his editor, what if his editor took out a lot of stuff and they were just like, it's just like this Fall Out Boy song.
Should have asked for Final Cut.
Yeah. What if they're like the Fall Out Boy song? You know, they made this crappy Ghostbusters thing. They're like, well, we're getting paid anyway, so
it doesn't matter.
this song sucks, but whatever. It's like a C+ term paper.
No, he cared. He cared.
No, he does care, and I don't know. Like, and the other thing about this, the hate, right? So you got Ben Affleck is a very well respected actor now. And a very well respected director, right? He's got his own Batman.
He's on
movie.
almost a decade-long hot streak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's on a hot streak, and I was watching that Bill Simmons show. I forgot what it's called. Any Given Wednesday, whatever. And he was on it, right? Where he had the drunken rant about Tom Brady, who says he wasn't drunk. It was funny to watch this because they said, you went from basically being like the butt of all the jokes, which watching two rich guys talk about how their life was bad, is kind of hard. It's kind of funny to watch.
Yeah.
They were like, I was at rock bottom. I was on a flight in first class getting made fun of. It's like, it sucks to be made fun of, but you watch that, I got no sympathy.
Yeah.
Anyway, he didn't distance himself from Snyder. He said, I think this is a good movie. I think Zack made a good movie. Like, he didn't say, because he could have said like the TO thing.
Yeah.
He could have been like, I didn't get tired.
I just read my lines and I did what I was told.
And
he vouched for him. He did.
He did.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel like Ben Affleck, being well respected, being this kind of the men of men right now, I think that lends a lot of like credit to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get you. He stuck up for his guy. And he didn't have to.
That's enough about Ghostbusters and Batman versus Superman. I'm pretty sure we did them together in one episode last, like a bunch of weeks ago.
We did an episode about the hate. So,
Yeah.
But
So
they're different. They're different topics.
Yeah, but anyway,
Different takes.
before we jump into plot fiction, I'm excited to hear what you concocted for me this week. Have you been watching anything else? I know we had a week off.
Yeah, I saw a couple movies. I saw one in the theater. I saw Purge, Election Year.
What did you think?
I'm a fan of those stupid
It had
movies. let me tell you.
Juliet from Lost.
Juliet
right?
from Lost was in it. Very sweet.
very
nice.
sweet.
Very nice.
And the guy from Prison Break.
See, that guy from that thing, I had no idea he was the guy
you
from
know,
Prison
that
Break.
guy
To
from that
me, he
thing.
was the guy from Purge 2.
Talk about that guy from that thing. He's in it. He's in Purge 2. He's
Yeah.
also in some of the Marvel movies now. Bones.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much to say about Purge Election Year. Purge 3, it's the third Purge. I guess it's a yearly thing now.
Was somebody elected?
Yeah, there was an election.
There
year,
was an
yes.
election?
Yes. So there's not much to say about it. It's just a well-made B movie. There's a lot of gratuitous violence, and I like the idea of the ridiculous idea of people going out on the streets and murdering people legally to get out the frustration to avoid crime. There's a lot of socialism involved about killing the poor would actually decrease the crime numbers anyway. So it's like the motives of the higher ups and this and that. It's interesting politics, but done in a B movie kind of way.
So you liked it. What do you give? You give it like a B plus?
I give it a solid B.
A B.
I'll give it an 83 out of 100.
Out of 100? Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
83 out of 100.
That's fair. That's a fair score.
Also saw 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I'm excited. What did you see?
I read it digitally. Do you have a problem with that?
No.
Should I have gone to Walmart and found the DVD?
Rental, you do it digitally. Rental is digital only.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm messing with you.
You want to own it? Give me the copy.
I'm messing with you.
Did you like it?
I liked it. Later on, there's callbacks, so forth, Cloverfield, this and that. I don't
But
give anything
theoretically,
away.
though, it has nothing to do with the original.
No, not at all.
Right?
But I felt that this movie should have been longer to
Oh,
go the other
man,
way.
there we
it was
go.
only like 90 minutes.
Oh man.
And there was a lot of good tension between John Goodman and the two other characters that were in the bunker together.
Yeah.
And I felt that they drug like the niceness on too far, where things started to turn sinister. It kind of happened
too
like
quick.
out of the blue, and it was and all of a sudden the movie was over. Right? They could have, if they would have had more time to do both, that would have been even better.
So what you're telling me is you would pre-order the Blu-ray for 10 Cloverfield Lane, the ultimate
the
cut.
ultimate cut.
You
It's
would-
3 hours long.
You
I'd
would
watch
buy-
it.
you'd
I would watch
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
okay, there you go.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
I have had chance to watch only a few things.
The Birth of Your Child 1.
The Birth of My
How's that movie?
Child.
What do you rate that score?
That was 100%. That was, obviously you can't imagine that until it actually happens.
You can't even describe it. Look at you.
I can't. I'm speechless. Honestly, it was awesome.
She's
And
beautiful.
It was really awesome. Outside of that,
Yes.
close second place was
Yes.
We Are Your Friends.
That movie.
my boy,
Tell the people about that
my
movie.
boy Zac Efron.
I don't
So,
think the majority of the people know exactly what this movie
it's
is
funny
about.
because the people that listen to the show, they know what kind of movies that we like, right? So I like crappy movies, and I'll be the first to admit it.
Yeah.
I like stupid movies, and I like everything. Obviously, like the classics too. But We Are You Friends? It was so bad that I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it's a DJ movie,
It
right?
was so. I remember seeing the trailer and I was like,
DJ
"This is going to be
movie.
the biggest piece of crap
Yeah.
ever," but I'm probably going to like it.
You're a Zephron fanboy.
I like
we
I
know
like
that.
Zac Efron. You know
Yeah.
what I'm also excited? I'm excited about Baywatch, man. They got The Rock in it.
Yeah.
Alexandra
Oh,
Daddario.
Daddario.
You've got Zac Efron in that.
Yeah.
Look, I am a fan of Zac Efron, and I thought the movie was kind of bad, but I liked it. It was
It
was stupid.
Those types of movies are made where it's like it's not really saying anything, but it's like it's trying to be serious, it's trying to be emotional, but it kind of falls flat. But you still end up liking all the characters anyway.
You know what that movie is? It's the perfect HBO movie. You're flipping through the channels. You just want to watch something
it's
for
all
like 10
it's on
minutes.
Saturday at 5 p.m.
Yes.
Yeah,
You put that movie on.
yeah.
The
What
other
el-
thing,
what else have you seen?
The other thing that I watched recently was, when you have a kid now, it's kind of funny. You have to watch things in parts.
Yeah.
It took me. Maybe I can't watch BVS at 3 hours. I watched The Fundamentals of Caring on Netflix. It's a Paul Rudd Netflix original.
Yeah.
And it's got the dude from, I think it's called Red Oaks. It's an Amazon instant video series that's like an 80s spoof, kind of like a coming of age series, a comedy.
Yeah.
It's got him, and he plays a kid who has muscular dystrophy, and Paul Rudd is a caretaker. And it's got like kind of this elaborate backstory about, why Paul Rudd is where he's at in his life. It's a dark comedy, but
So
it's like
is it like a Jeff Who Lives at Home type of thing?
it's
Or
sort of, it's like a
like
feel.
that feel.
Yeah, it's like it's got the feels.
Yeah.
I watched recently, what the heck is it called? The movie where the kid tries to find the girl who left him clues. It's another stupid kind of coming of age tale.
Paper
Towns.
Paper
yeah.
Towns. That's right.
Again, not a good movie,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's kind of dumb, but it's very similar, like in that it's kind of Paul Rudd bonding with this kid who's got some troubles.
Yeah.
And it's got some really funny moments. Definitely recommend it, but it was an hour and 40 minutes, and I'm pretty sure it took me like 5 hours to watch it.
Yeah,
'Cause I had
good
to
luck
keep-
watching Batman.
I had to keep stopping
Yeah.
it. And I recommended to you TV series, Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been watching that. I saw the first season.
So funny.
It's great.
So funny.
It's entourage. It's geeky entourage.
so funny.
Right down to the final minute of the episode cliffhangers,
Yes.
where everything's going well, and in the last 30 seconds of the episode, something bad happens. That's like total entourage.
So do you like it as much as I said it, or did I build it up too much for you?
no, it's properly built. I like it a lot.
Okay.
I'll probably speed watch the next 2 seasons.
I was worried that I built it up too much with some of the the moments and the characters.
No,
But
no, yeah. All the characters are very different in their own way, and they're all enjoyable. When you have it's funny when you have a cast where every character works. Like Parks was the last
right.
comedy I probably watched where every single character hit. This is the same way. Every single character is on fire in this series.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan.
So as we promised in the beginning of the show, wouldn't be an on-demand episode without another week of plot fiction.
Absolutely.
I hope we're not overplaying this game, but I have fun playing it. Hopefully everybody listening enjoys
Forget them
us.
listening. I'm enjoying plot fiction, so we're gonna keep it going.
They like listening to me fail and stumble through it.
Yeah.
Is what it is. So
I like to take control. I enjoy myself writing the plot fiction because I like giving
it is
better
fun.
than receiving.
It's okay. So you're a nice person. There you go.
I'm a giver. I like to do the work. So again, if you're new to the show, Plot Fiction is a game we play where we take 4 movies that are coming out in the next week or so, either direct to DVD or the theater, and we read the real plot and we make up. I make up a fake one, and I present it to Drew, and Drew has to decide which one is real and which one I've created. And we'll do this 4 times, and last time I did this, Drew failed miserably.
I think I got a 25%.
Yeah, but again, I did such a good job, and I hate to toot my own horn, but
No, you did.
beep, you know.
You did.
So,
You did a great job.
I don't blame you for being bad. I blame me for being good.
And if you're listening, play at home. Play along at home. If you're
Yeah.
driving, play. You know, I want to know what everybody's score is.
Without further ado, Drew, cue the music. And let's get into it. First movie, Dirty.
Oh, God.
Simply titled Dirty. Again, which one is real? Which one did I create? First plot. Dirty. 2 very dirty cops find themselves relieved of over $2 million in stolen drugs and pocketed blood money, forcing them down a bizarre and mysterious road to get it all back. In this twisted tale of police corruption gone wrong, these partners are pushed to the edge, and the limit of their bond is tested as the body count rises. How far will you go when you've lost it all?
So
Dirty.
you ended on a question.
Yeah.
See, that's dirty right there.
So was that the real one, or
So cops trying to get their money back.
yes,
All right.
dirty cops who lose their stolen drug paraphernalias, or is this the real one? Dirty. In the alleyways and basements of Belfast, Ireland, underground fight clubs called, quote, working men's clubs rule the night. Oliver Healy, after an unsuccessful start to his MMA career, decides to hone his craft against the most ruthless fighters Belfast has to offer. Oliver soon realizes the 2 organizations are not the same, and he will have to leave his core values at the door if he plans on winning or even surviving from night to night. Dirty.
Oh, man.
Dirty fighting, dirty cops.
I feel like the name Oliver Healy, you said?
Yeah.
Oliver Healy sounds like a made-up name.
Does it?
It does. It sounds like a made-up name.
All right.
Oh, man.
What else? Any other clues going swinging you one way or the
it's
other?
hard. Again, we said this before. It's hard when you're listening because you can't literally read it. So
You should take notes.
I'm writing a couple things down.
Yeah.
I feel like the first one, the Dirty Cops, is the real movie.
You're gonna stick to that?
I'm gonna stick to that. I'm gonna say Dirty Cops because it just sounds like it sounds like a professionally written thing. The other one sounds too good. Like you wrote it too well.
So it sounds like a facsimile of a
Right, but
Okay.
it sounds so written. Like you did such a great job with it. I'm
Okay.
saying the Dirty Cop one is the real plot.
Okay, you are correct.
All right.
All right. Dirty Cop movie is correct. I made up the
The
Belfast
second one was pretty good.
fighter.
So what did you say?
I
it
would
was
watch the fighter movie.
Working men's clubs.
Yeah, that's legit. Actually,
Okay.
it's funny. I heard that term. UFC 200 was as of this
Okay.
recording last night, and there was this Irish guy who was like doing like the post fight commentary. I was
Yeah.
watching on FS1, and he was talking about like underground fight clubs in Ireland, and he called them working men's clubs.
Okay.
And he described what a working men's club is. So that's a real thing.
So I feel like you did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was so good that it gave it away.
Okay.
It was too good.
So yeah, I had to dial it back a little bit.
You got to be careful.
So 1-0, you're up. Are you ready for number 2?
Hit me.
Phantom Boy.
Oh, Phantom Boy.
Plot number 1. Leo has a secret. A mysterious illness has transformed him into a phantom boy, able to leave the confines of his body and explore the city as a ghostly apparition. While in the hospital, he befriends Alex, a New York City cop injured while attempting to capture a nefarious gangster who has taken control of the city's power supply, throwing the metropolis into chaos. Now they must form an extraordinary duo using Leo's phantom powers and Alex's detective work to foil the plot and save New York from destruction.
So it's basically like a buddy cop movie between a ghost and a cop?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
You like that? Or Phantom Boy. Phantom Boy is the tale of Chicago's legendary street artist of the 1980s and 90s. At the time, Phantom Boy was both a hero to his admirers and a menace to law enforcement. Moving with the silence and grace of a ninja, the expert tagger would create beautiful and haunting images undetected throughout the city. Only now, after 2 decades of inactivity, has Phantom Boy come forward under sworn anonymity from his filmmakers to tell his story and motivations behind many of his most notorious pieces in a series of animated vignettes narrated by the artist himself. Phantom Boy.
Man. So we've got buddy cop movie between a ghost and a cop,
Yes.
or a hidden graffiti artist.
Yes.
A documentary?
Documentary told in a series of vignettes.
Oh, man.
Oh, and Real or Fake, the first one is also animated.
Oh, they're both animated.
They're both
movies.
animated.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So oh man, see that makes it harder.
Yeah.
Because when you said that the first one, I was like, oh, that's absolutely fake.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm sorry. That's a big detail. They're both animated.
'Cause I was like, I don't recall thinking that they could make a buddy cop movie of
Yeah.
a Phantom.
One is really animated. One is animated in my head. So
Man,
what-
you did. That's
So go through it. What do you got? What do you got?
So, listen, what I would tell you is, making the first one animated makes it harder for me.
Okay.
If it was a real movie, I think it would be fake.
Okay.
Live action.
Yes. It would be
But-
harder to do for sure.
Leo and Alex, I don't know.
Yeah.
Leo in New York City, I don't know. I feel like
It's a New Yorkie name.
it is a New Yorkie name,
Yeah.
but I feel like the street artist.
Uh-huh.
I'm leaning towards that. I gotta tell you, because it just, I don't know, it reminds me of like the Linkin Park graffiti, like they did the animated things of that.
Yeah.
I feel like I could see that being a real movie
Okay.
where they have a vignette of the actual graffiti narrated and illustrated by the guy.
All right. So what do you got?
I'm saying
choice.
two. I'm saying the
Phantom Boy as a graffiti artist is
graffitiist.
real.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. That's the right one. I'm saying.
You are incorrect. I made that up.
Oh man, dude, that was good.
Right? Yeah.
Man, that was hard.
I want to see that movie. I
So-
also want to see this cartoon a little bit.
Who's making the cartoon?
I don't know. I'd never heard of it. It seemed like an indie film. It's up for awards. It's
Really?
Yeah.
See, I thought for sure that was fake.
Yeah.
That's
No,
hard.
yeah.
That's a good one. Good job.
So the buddy cop Phantom Boy thing is real. That is a real movie.
Good
It's
job
coming
on
out.
that.
Thank you. And I'd like to see both of these movies, real and fake. Phantom Boy, by the way, is not even a real graffiti artist. I completely made it up.
But see, it makes sense though the way that you did it.
Yeah,
like
it
he's
sounds
a Phantom.
it sounds like a graffiti artist's name too.
I gotta
Like
give you props on that one,
You
man.
do the little drawing, then he tags it Phantom Boy on the bottom.
See, that was a good one.
Which I thought of that, by the way, from Silicon Valley.
Oh,
Chewy.
yeah, Jim.
That he made the mural.
Yeah. Oh, on the garage door.
Yeah. Of Dinesh
Piper?
sodomizing the Statue of Liberty. Oh, jeez.
That was awesome.
All right. So let's get even more ridiculous because we're going into the Pig Zone.
Oh man,
Movie called The Pig Zone.
the Pink Zone. This
Pink
is the movie.
Zone.
I thought you were being like facetious.
No. First synopsis. Pig Zone. In a post-apocalyptic world, the U.S. has been divided into 10 colored zones. Years of feuding has given way to relative peace between the territories as the country has started to finally rebuild and instill the laws and values that once made this nation great. However, this is put into serious jeopardy as the rogue Pig Zone threatens to overtake the entire land by coordinating hostile takeovers territory by territory, led by their ruthless commander Baron Corbin. Can the remaining peaceful zones stop the takeover, or will the entire country fall under pink rule?
All
Pig
right.
Zone.
Okay.
Or Pig Zone. The year is 2026. Women are on the verge of extinction. A deadly kissing virus carried by men and transmitted to women only wiped out 80% of the female population on Earth. Some teenage girls struggle to survive. As a safety precaution, the US government initiated a project to deport all remaining girls into areas supposed to protect them. This project has been named the Pig Zone. Emily is one of these girls. Her father, known by all the girls as, quote, Dad, is a legend. He's the one who created the Pig Zone project. He rules over the zone as he rules over his daughter. But when a group of juvenile delinquents coming from outside the pig zone, decides to cross the border to get Emily, everything is about to change.
So they can kiss her?
Pig zone.
Dude.
Well, I don't know.
Listen, you didn't.
One of those is real.
This week.
One of those
you
is
weren't
real.
messing around this week.
So, is it a kissing disease? Girls are sequestered to the pig zone? Or is the pig zone one of the territories that takes to rule over the United States in a post-apocalyptic world?
So, you know what's funny? The first one reminds me so much of a combination between The Man in the High Castle and Escape from New York and Escape from LA.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure as you're reading this, I'm like, oh, this is so fake.
Yeah.
This is so fake. And then you read the second one.
Right. Equally is fake.
A kissing virus? Oh my God. I got to flip a coin on this one.
So, any clues? Nothing, anything giving it away?
You said Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin is the name of the pig zone leader.
Yeah, like the leader.
The commander, yeah.
Man, I didn't hear any clues outside of Emily and Baron Corbin.
No, I'm talking about like no red flags that are like.
There
oh,
wasn't
that's
anything.
bullshit.
No, there wasn't anything. I mean, they both sound like bullshit, really.
Yeah,
but
yeah. One of them, unfortunately, is real.
Man, I'm gonna say. I feel like an idiot if I say that the second one is real.
Okay.
I feel like if I say the kissing virus is, it's like the tickle thing all over again. Like if I can't say that that's a real movie, so I have to say that the first one is the real movie. I cannot believe.
Not in good conscience can you say that the kissing virus movie.
I
is
cannot
the real
believe that the kissing virus is a real movie. But if it is, I'll be damned.
So you're gonna lock it in.
Lock it in. Number one is real.
Number one is real. The pig zone is the territory, the warfare. You are incorrect.
Are you kidding me?
I thought of the tickle zone when I saw this trailer. I was like, "There's no way he's gonna think this is real."
Who makes this?
It's by the way, it's a very cheaply. It looks like a high school movie, very cheaply made. It's direct to on demand. I'll have to send you the link to the trailer. It looks kind of like a Skinamax movie. I think there's sex in it. I think there is. I'm not sure.
I guess it makes sense. The kissing virus.
Yeah.
All right.
And like the girls are like they're getting it on with each other. There's like there's guys that are in like white suits that are coming in and they look like they're like I don't know. They might be assaulting them. It's like a whole weird thing.
So you said this is on demand. So you're saying I cannot buy the Blu-ray?
There might be a physical disc maybe. You might want it, for like displaying on your wall.
I can't believe that's real.
Yeah.
You need to send me this trailer.
Yeah, it's very shitty. Like when I say shit, I mean shitty. It looks like it was made by a high school student. By the way,
25% here, man.
Baron Corbin is a current wrestler in the WWE.
How did I not know this?
Well, if you're not up on the,
See, everyone
he's
that's
not
listening,
100% well known.
the Chris listener, he's gonna skewer me on that one. I should know this.
He used to be a offensive lineman for the Arizona Cardinals, but his real name is Baron Corbin. I don't know his real name.
I haven't caught up. I haven't actually paid too much attention.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't expect you to know it. That's why I threw it in there. And if you did know it, it was kind of like it would have been
funny.
a trigger.
You asked me, are there any clues? And I said, oh, Baron Corbin. I don't know.
Well, I wasn't even alluding to that. I was talking about like what sounds like bullshit, but
they both did. But I'll tell you that second one, I can't believe you got to send me the trailer.
You're gonna have to save yourself here on the last one to get yourself up to 50%, which is very respectable. Quitters.
Quitters? Like you're a quitter?
You quit. You're a quitter. Like TJ Lavin hates you if you're a quitter. Quitters.
You quit, bro.
Yeah. Quitters is a dark comedy about families in San Francisco centered on Clark Raymond, a high schooler whose world is crumbling around him. When his mother checks into a rehab facility and he and his father clash, Clark goes in search of a better home life. Craving the affection of his new girlfriend Natalia's much more stable family, he convinces her to let him move in. As his presence becomes more intrusive, Natalia and her family grow increasingly uncomfortable with his arrangement. When Clark is finally asked to leave, he has nowhere to go. Quitters. So, his mother quit. His mother quit her drug habit by going to rehab. And then he quit on his father by leaving the family. And then the family he moved in with quit on him, kicked him to the curb.
It's a lot of quitting.
A lot of quitters going on.
That's a lot of quitting. TJ would not be happy.
Yes, a lot of quitters. Or his quitters. After getting into a car accident while drunk the day of her third wedding in 10 years, essentially ruining it, Charlie is given a choice between prison or a rehab center. She chooses rehab, but is resistant to taking part in any of the treatment programs, refusing to admit that she has an alcohol addiction. After getting to know some of the other patients, especially a group of 5 women dubbed, quote, the Quitters, Charlie gradually begins to re-examine her life and see that she does, in fact, have a serious problem. Sorry, I can't read.
So she quits.
And the group is the Quitters.
Because she's drunk.
She's an alcoholic.
So she's an alcoholic quitter.
It's a good quitter.
See, that's a positive
These
quitter.
quitters are good.
Can you read the first line of the first movie again?
Quitters is a dark comedy about families in San Francisco centered on Clark Raymond.
See, what that seems to me more like Shameless, like a family of just a bunch of people.
Yeah,
like
a bunch of screw ups.
Yeah. Man, that's a lot of quitting.
So is it negative quitting or positive quitting?
I think there's too much quitting in the first one.
There's too
to
much
be real.
quitting.
I think there's too much. Like,
A lot of quitting going on.
there's a little like the quitting meter is like it's too much quitting.
Quit less.
So they need less quitting. So I feel like I'm gonna say that the second option, the drunk addict,
The drunken rehab and the group of quitters.
meeting the group of people,
Yeah.
because I could see that being like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants type, where she meets these people.
28
and-
days Sandra Bullock thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that the car accident, third wedding in 3 years, is probably stars Sandra Bullock too. It's either her or like Jessica Parker, whatever her name is.
Sarah Jessica
Parker.
Oh, I was thinking Charlize Theron.
Yeah, and that could be her too. I'm gonna say
I know who it is, but
I'm gonna say the second one is real.
it
and
is.
The first one is fake.
The second one is made up by me.
Are you
Incorrect.
kidding me? Listen, there's too much quitting in the first one. I want to call up the scriptwriters.
Hey, there's not much quitters going on.
Man, I'm about to quit this game.
I'm not
right
saying
now.
they're good movies. I'm just saying they're real movies.
So who's in the first one?
Nobody I know.
So it's like a really like
Really
a
coming of age tale.
bargain bin
Yeah.
type thing.
Well, it could be like a good indie movie. I don't know.
There's a lot of quitting in that movie.
I didn't watch the trailer for this. I only watched the trailer of the kissing movie.
I'll bet you watched that trailer.
Yeah.
I'll bet you watched that
And
trailer.
by the way, most of my inspiration for my quitters is from 28 Days from Sandra
See,
Bullock.
that's what I was saying. It sounded so much like
'Cause
that.
I used to have a hot box. For those who don't know what a hot box is, it's a box. It's
cheater
pretty
box?
much it's a cheater box. Yeah, the cable box that gives you all the pay-per-views and all the pay movies. And when I had that back in the day, 28 Days was like just on pay-per-view, and so it was on like every hour of the day. 28 Days was on.
Because it deciphers the scramble.
Yeah. So I watched 28 Days like 5, 6, 7 times because it was always on, and I was like, 28 Days is on.
Man, you did a really good job on that one.
Thank you. So
that was like exactly a Sandra Bullock movie.
yes. So there we go. We're 1-3. I win again.
I'm so bad at this game.
It's not you, it's me. I'm just making all the right moves here. You had no reason to pick the kissing movie as the correct one. So
That
it's
is the
kind of unfair. It's like the tickle one.
That is
I had
the
to pay
tickle
you
one.
back. I told you I was going to pay you back.
It's kind of like, yeah, and like I think, did you get the nut carving one right when
I
I did
did.
the nut carving one? So you
did.
did. That was like,
But that was hard.
I worked on that
Yeah.
one really hard.
But I told you when you fooled me on the tickle movie that I was going to get you back. And
That
that
was-
was my get back.
I'll tell you what, I would have never guessed that a movie about a kissing virus could be real. Like,
You'll understand when you see the trailer how bad this movie is.
we'll post it on Twitter.
So
Yeah.
we've been out for 2 weeks. We've gone on way long enough. Thanks for hanging in there. If you guys are still there, hello,
Yeah.
you guys
Hello?
there?
Hello?
Is this thing on?
My favorite thing is like, I don't know if you've ever been in an office where someone answers the phone
Yeah.
and they're trying to see if someone's still on the other
Yeah.
line. So like, it's
Hello,
that,
hello, hello, hello.
it's that like the sad like, hello,
Hello?
like hello, are you still there? Anyway,
I get mad when they're not there. I'm like, screw you then, even though like they don't know.
But it's like if you hear someone else answer the phone,
Yeah.
and you hear them saying hello,
Hello?
and they say it like over and over. Can you tell we've been
All
off for
right,
so
now
long?
everyone's gone.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what we say at this point.
If you're not gone and you haven't decided to quit on us like the
Yeah,
quitters,
Don't be a quitter.
don't be a quitter. If you're looking for us on thelastroepodcast.com, I can't even talk now. That's our website.
Just wrap it
The
up.
best way to get in touch with us actually is email thelastroepodcast@gmail.com. But we make all of our announcements on Twitter. So if you're not on Twitter, follow us on Twitter, sign up, follow at thelastroepod. That's where we talk mostly about when we're having a new episode. If we are going to take a week off, Twitter's the best way to see that. We hopefully won't be taking any weeks off coming up. But if you do, if you need to find that out, it's on Twitter.
Yep.
We're on Google Plus, however else you're looking for us. Facebook page, same thing. Like our page, and leave us an iTunes review if you're on iTunes and you haven't done so already. We really appreciate everyone that has done so. And on that note, and the silliness will subside, and we won't talk about Batman versus Superman anymore. We won't talk about Ghostbusters.
Well, what
anymore.
happens when you watch it?
We'll see you guys next week, but maybe I'll talk about it.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Maybe I'll talk about it more. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited to watch this movie. I'm excited to watch it. I probably should have bought it digitally. I'm not gonna lie. I thought of actually doing it
You might do it tonight.
with my credits.